What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. It's FlyJV, your favorite black pilot on YouTube. Welcome back to another video. In today's video we'll be talking about 5 things I wish I knew before I became an airline pilot. Before the video even starts, I'm going to ask you one thing. Follow me on social media, like, comment, and subscribe, most importantly, to the channel. And turn on post notifications so you can see all of my latest videos. Thank you very much for 6K subscribers. Let's keep going up. Let's get into the video. First things first, aviation. Just like any other field, you will be in a company, which is like any other company in the world that has nothing to do with airline, that has nothing to do with flying. You have to be able to handle people, social situations, professional situations, and the way you interact with people in said situations. So you've got to be smart, right? So this is just a quick little introduction to the video. Let's get into the topic. Number 1, first thing I wish I knew before I became a pilot is how much gossip there is in airlines. You have to be very careful with the people you associate with, and the people you talk to, and the people you start considering as friends. I mean, it's just like any other place in life generally, you know. It's just, you join a company, you're very happy you're in a new company, especially if you're a newcomer in aviation and you want to tell everybody about your dreams, about your life and everything, but not everybody's your friend, and that's just the way it is in life. Focus on yourself, and do not start getting involved in the gossip and all that stuff. If you've read the 48 Laws of Power, then you know about the law number 4, I mean. Always say less than is necessary. If you're talking to people and you're always the one leading the conversation, and you're always talking for no reason just because you need to fill a void, you're gonna get into serious trouble, because you're gonna let people in on things that they shouldn't know. And some of these people don't want what's best for you. That's just the way it is. So that's something I wish I knew earlier. So I'm sharing it with you so you can use it. Always say less than necessary. Do not get involved in the gossip, and associate yourself with people that are like-minded and that you know you can trust after you've naturally made friends with these people. Do not get hasty. Do not feel like you need to rush in to know everybody, to talk to everybody. The first reason you're in this airline anyway is to be a pilot and to work. You've been for years you've been studying at a aviation college, or you've been in aero clubs flying to get into that position. You finally get into that position, and the first thing you want to do is talk. Why? So that's something that I believe is very important in terms of joining an airline. Do not join into the gossip, and be very careful about what you say. Number 2, this has to do with one of my latest videos, which is about the line training. The line training is very important, not only because you want to join the company and you want to be seen as a full-fledged pilot for the airline, but because in a way the line training is the benchmark that the airline sets for you. Basically, when you come into an airline and you do the line training and you fly with instructors and they see and assess the way you fly, trust that they're talking with each other, because everybody's human. If somebody sees something that he doesn't like about you, your quirks, and he sees that you're very hard to talk to, because every time you're trying to prove something and you're always trying to answer when somebody's trying to teach something to you, he's going to say it to other instructors, and other instructors are going to assess that when they start flying with you, and they're going to start spreading the word about you. And that's number 1. Number 2 also is the way you perform. Obviously, if it's obvious by the way that you fly and the way you answer questions during the line training that you do not study at all, the word will get around quickly. And just like everywhere else, first impressions set the tone for the rest of how people see you in an environment, right? So if during the line training you're seen as somebody who doesn't work hard, you will never, during your whole career in that airline, be seen as somebody who works hard, okay? Or at least it will take a very, very long time to change the balance of the way people see you in that airline, because you'll have to work a lot over a long period of time for people to see like, okay, this guy's changing. But you will always be remembered that the guy who at line training was not doing anything. So get that done from the very beginning of your employment at the airline. line training, show them what you're made of. And honestly, this is not something that I should even be telling you. If you're really passionate and motivated about aviation, this is an opportunity for you, and you will put in the required work. So yes, the line training is the benchmark, and people talk a lot. Even people that aren't pilots in the airline will be talking about, oh, this guy is still in line training. Oh, this guy's taking so long for this line training. Don't be one of those people. Be one of the people who people are like, oh, this guy's actually learning quickly. He could actually be a captain in a few years. I can see him filling that position. Be the kind of person that people believe in and that people feel safe flying with. Because the worst thing for a captain is having not only to do everything he needs to do as a captain, because obviously he has a lot more to do than just the first officer who's still learning, which is normal, but also he has to monitor you all the time. That's not good, because in a way he'll kind of resent you, because he's like, I'm flying with this guy who doesn't know what he's doing, and he's a liability. So at the end of the day, if he does something bad, he's gonna screw me over, or he's gonna put a bad image on my name. So nobody likes to fly with somebody who's seen as a low performer. Number three, I'm going to talk about something that not a lot of people know actually, and I want to talk about low performers, just like I ended number 2 with. Low performers is something that in airlines is very hidden, and basically, I don't think all airlines do it, but some airlines do that. So basically, you have people in an airline that are seen as not as good as other people. They're seen as below average, and basically there's a list somewhere where below average pilots cannot, basically there's a list with all below average pilots, and these people cannot fly with other people that are low performers as well. So there's people who will never encounter each other in the cockpit. And the thing about low performers is, low performers don't know they're low performers. So it's kind of like, the only way you can make sure you're not a low performer is by working hard and seeing from people's reaction to your flying that you're doing a good job. So make sure, like I said, number 2, make sure you prove what you're worth quickly and fast. Because if you don't, you might end up in that category of low performers. And low performers are not the type of people take seriously in an airline. You can trust me on that, because people speak behind your back all the time. So make sure you do things like you're supposed to do them. Make sure you're always learning. I mean, to within reason, obviously. I'm not saying to be like focused all the time and just stressed about everything. I'm just saying, make sure you're always learning, make sure you're on an upwards slope, and make sure you're just, at the end of the day, doing your job correctly, and that other people can rely on you. That's all that is required of you. You know, people speak. Do not be a low performer. Make sure you are on the good end of the bell curve. Number 4, this ties back in with my video that I made a while ago called Flight Time Limitations, Sleep Management, and Circadian Rhythm. Basically, you have to learn how to calculate and know about your flight duty periods. Flight duty periods is a period that starts about 30 minutes before the off blocks time and ends at the block on. So basically what happens is, every pilot, depending on what civil aviation authority you're flying with, depending on your country and stuff like that, airline, blah blah blah, basically there is a number of hours that you should not exceed when flying. It's literally that simple. Depending on the conditions of the start of your day, that flight duty period can be reduced. For example, if you've been woken up during the window of circadian low, it will be that will be deducted to the normal flight duty period you should have in a day. And if you have more, for example, than 3 sectors in a day, every sector past the number 2 will be taking off 30 minutes in your flight duty period. You can find information about the flight duty period inside your man ops manual. Basically the ops manual, sorry, like you can say that you can find it inside the ops manual basically, and you will find everything about it. You'll find tables and text explaining to you how to calculate it, and you have to make sure basically that you do not exceed it. And the reason I'm being very pedantic about that is because flight duty period, at the end of the day, yes, rostering and scheduling of your company will take care of it for you. Normally they will calculate everything and make sure that you do not exceed it, but it happens for them to make mistakes. And at the end of the day, if there's a control at any point in the flight by some authority that comes in the plane and wants to make sure that everything is under regulation the way it's supposed to be, and you're exceeding your flight duty period, guess who's in trouble? You. So you have to make sure every time, when you know you're gonna have a lot of sectors, when you know you're gonna be flying for most of the day, always just open the page of the house manual if you're not sure, and just look, just make sure, calculate it, up. Okay, I start flying at this time, I have this many sectors, I take this off, blah blah blah. Okay, I'm supposed to not exceed a day of 12 hours. That's it. Make sure your day is not more than 12 hours. If there's a problem, you call your company and you let them know what is happening. It's that simple. Just cover yourself. You're the pilot, you're supposed to take your responsibilities with this. It's not the company's fault if that happens, it's your fault if you do not know about how it works. So make sure you know about that. So I'm really happy I learned about this early with other pilots as well. So yeah, remember that. Flight duty period, know how to calculate it. Number 5, that ties a little bit back in with number 1 as well. What I want to finish this video off with, number 5, is keep your future projects and your ambitions to yourself. Not everybody needs to know what you're planning on doing with your future. They don't need to know what's your favorite airline. They don't need to know what airplane you're willing to fly at the end. They don't need to know in what country you want to be based in for the rest of your life. Not everybody is on your side. I'm just saying this. I'm not trying to say everybody's evil. I'm just saying it how it is. You have to be able to keep your cards to yourself and work in silence. Everything you do it in silence. Not everybody needs to know what you're doing. Okay? Work hard. Learn as much as you can. Build as many hours as possible. And if you have a goal later, do everything how it's supposed to be done. Don't be the kind of guy who leaves out of nowhere and just breaches contract illegally and does things that nobody will respect him for. Do everything the way it's supposed to be done. That way everybody will respect you the way you're supposed to be respected. It is that simple. Okay? You can't be the kind of person who just is very cunning and does things in the shadows and then gets up and leave like that. That's not correct as well. You have to do things the way they have to be done, and also just deal with the people you need to deal with. You don't need to imply as many people as possible. Just imply the people who need to be implied, and that is it. Okay? You don't need to talk to everybody. You don't need to talk, oh, I'm going there, I'm going this, I'm doing that, blah 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 blah. I have this many hours. You don't need to tell everything to everybody. Okay? Keep things to yourself. Like I said in number 1, if you have natural friends in the company that you know you can trust, and you've been dealing with these people for a long time and you know them, it's okay. Obviously, they're your friends. You can talk to them naturally. But apart from that, keep things to yourself. Stay silent and just do your own thing. Okay? At the end of the day, the road is yours. It's nobody else's, and that's important. It gotta remain important by staying true to yourself. Stay true to yourself. Okay? Stay true to yourself. That's simple. Thought it was done, but it's not done. I got a bonus actually. I didn't actually think about talking about that, but that's actually very important as well. It's just a small tip, but I think everybody should know about this, especially if you're an airline pilot, if you're a pilot in general, whatever type of pilot you are. Stay hydrated. The importance of hydration is incredible in aviation. You get dehydrated like this during the flight, and the thing is, you don't feel it because you're not sweating and you're not physically exerting yourself that much, so you don't feel that you're getting dehydrated, but you are. And so you'll need to drink a lot, especially if it's possible. Try to bring a bottle of water with you in flight so that you cover yourself on that aspect. And the reason why it's so important is because being dehydrated decreases your cognitive abilities and basically makes you slower. It's not a matter of being rested, it's a matter of just not being able to focus properly because you're dehydrated. You have a neocortex as a human being, and you need to be hydrated and you need to be well nourished to be able to make it work at its peak capability. So we all know there's 2 phases of flight during a flight. There's takeoff and there's landing. During takeoff you might be well hydrated, but if you're doing a flight that is 3 hours long, by the end of the flight you'll be dehydrated if you haven't been drinking anything at all during the whole flight. And you're the one doing the landing. Trust me, your landing is not going to be as good as if you were hydrated. So make sure you drink water regularly. Make sure you ask for something to drink. Not necessarily water. It can even apple juice, pineapple juice, whatever. Just stay hydrated a little bit so you can make sure that everything works the way it's supposed to work. Hydration is important. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. It was FlyJV, and like I said before, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to this video. Let's make more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.